usually, and I'm gonna come back to this word usually, men level up after heartbreak, after getting a little heartbroken, after, going through a bad experience or two, going through maybe a divorce or maybe a really bad breakup or like a high school sweetheart type of puppy love type of deal where they're like, dang, this chick was actually a freaking thotty, type of deal. Or they went through some kind of bad experience and kind of left them a little jaded or a little bitter, hurt. It hurt. That crap hurts, right? Usually, men level up after these experiences, and 304s, the H to the Izzos, and the thotties usually decline. And when I say thotties or whatever you want to call it, I'm not talking about good women, right? I'm not talking about women that broke it up with a guy that was either a loser or he was doing dirt, right? I'm not talking about a guy that was a scumbag that deserved to get dumped, right? I'm talking about the chicks that had a good man, had a relatively good guy that was kind of naive to what type of person she was, kind of green, wet behind the ears. If y'all know what that means, he was kind of naive, kind of just ignorant to the facts that this chick was no good. I'm talking about them types. I'm not talking about good women who just had to do what they had to do and had to dump a dude that was, you know, putting hands on them or constantly cheating, or a dude that just it was addicted to stuff. And I'm not talking about that. Okay, so I just had to clear that up. Now, before I get into all that, of course, this is Tarek Talks. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and we're finna discuss this after this nice chest day. Y'all let me know what y'all worked out today if you did so in the comments, right? But when I say the word usually, and I said that I use this word usually, men usually level up, because sometimes there's guys that get even worse. They fall into addictions. They kind of ruminate. They kind of just skulk and just keep incessantly replaying their bad hookup, or not bad hookup, bad relationship or bad experience. And they just can't get over that shit. And they fall into this victim mindset where they just can't get over the past. They can't get over the past, and they keep using that bad experience over and over again to kind of justify why they're not doing good at the present moment, and they just let that experience defeat them. See, the difference between a winner and a loser is simply the fact that one keeps going while the other one just kind of sits back and just blames everybody and everything, right? Because a winner loses. Don't get it twisted. Winners, they lose. You're gonna bump into some losses during your life. But the thing with a winner is, and a dude who's like, man, forget this. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna get my sex appeal up. I'm gonna get even more chicks. I'm gonna get my mind state right. Is just that, his mindset, mind state. He doesn't let a couple of losses deter him. He's gonna keep going because deep down inside, he knows that he's gonna get something good, because of course I am. That's how he thinks. Of course I'm gonna get something good. Of course I'm gonna get my sex appeal up, and these chicks, I'm gonna have experiences with them that I never even had in the past, because now I'm even more desirable, not just looks wise, even though that's a little part of it, but personality wise. Now I know how to maneuver. Now I know how to talk to chicks to where me and these chicks are doing things that I wouldn't even have imagined before. That's how a winner thinks, because believe it or not, challenge and pain is what makes us grow. Just like when you go to the gym, perfect example. You're tearing down your old, weaker muscles. You're rebuilding those muscles to get even bigger and stronger. But how does that happen? It happens through damage. You have to damage them first. After you damage them, they start, your muscles start getting bigger. They start getting filled up with blood and just overall getting bigger, stronger, and better. And then you start looking good. You start looking good, like, oh boy, getting buff, he looking good. And then the females is like, ooh, I never seen him in that type of light before, right? But that only happens after damage. You only can get handsome. You only can get more wiser after a little bit of damage. And a lot of guys, especially ones that watch this kind of stuff, especially ones that watch self-improvement, they are the types that look for solutions. Now, I know there's something on the internet about a phenomenon about people just watching self-improvement and not really doing it because it makes them feel good. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who who relatively follow the advice. They might not follow everything, but they follow self-improvement stuff, meaning these men would rather find out how to improve themselves, would rather find out how to get better, would rather find out how to get a chick that's even better. Because a lot of times, fellas, you'll find as a man, when you were naive, when you were kind of lost, when you were thirsty, when you were thinking with your little head and you were thirsty, chasing hoes that would string you along, and you would naively keep chasing after them. You would naively keep going after them because you thought, hey, me being persistent, me being this good guy, showing her how good of a guy, let me be super persistent and keep going after her. And maybe then she'll realize how much of a good guy I am when she sees how much I love her and how much I check up on her. All of that bull crap. That was the past. And now that this has happened, men who self-improve, who do better, they start waking up and they start doing better. And now the chicks that they get are even better. Because now, since they start respecting themselves, since they stop trying to chase broads that kind of string them along and falling in love with a chick that is really just using them for attention, really just using them for her own personal narcissistic gains and stuff. Now, since he respects himself, he's not going to attract those types. He's not going to attract those types of women that have no respect for him because he has respect for himself. Because you only allow to happen what you allow. Things happen because you allow them to. And a lot of guys don't like that. A lot of guys are going to get pissed and be like, oh no, these three over. No, they do what you allow them to. But now, since you respect yourself, you're like, dang, I'm getting these chicks that are baddies. Now, these chicks are coming to me. Right? These chicks are hitting me up. They want to do freaky stuff. When I'm out and about and I meet a chick, if I'm at a bar or club or some shit like that, now they want to come home and I'm doing stuff that I never even dreamt of when I was just this very kind of weak, lost, no self-identity dude, right? Before self-improvement. And now getting to these chicks, a lot of them are going to suffer the consequences, so to speak, right? They are going to decline. They're going to decline because guess what? Most of the time, these type of chicks are not self-improving. These type of chicks are only living in the moment. They don't have to be that fit. They don't have to really take care of their health like that. They don't have to work on their personality like that. They don't have to do any of that because guess what? They have youth on their side. And that's really, as men, I hate to say it, we're simple as hell. A lot of us are simple as hell. All it takes for us to thirst over a chick is her being somewhat youthful and her looking good. And that's about it. Right? That's really all it takes. and it'll have dudes in a frenzy. That's really all it takes. So what incentive does she have to improve herself? She doesn't, because she's getting all the money. She's getting dudes throwing their bank wad at her. She's getting dudes throwing their D's at her, right? She's living life. She's getting D, she's getting money, she's getting spoiled, she's getting treated good, even though her personality is bad. The same chick that was stringing dudes along, right? It might have been you. It might have been the guy that self-improved. This same chick was stringing you along, using you for attention, or using you for a friend zone guy, or using you to take her out to dinners and stuff, while she was really talking to 3 other guys. This same chick, when that youth kind of starts to wear off and that partying catches up, because guys, look, a lot of you guys get real in y'all feelings about these chicks partying, having fun, being out here, getting ran through. You kind of feel a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of envy, like, man, why can't I do that? These chicks out here, they can get anybody they want with such ease. You don't stop to think that all of that stuff catches up, because a 30-something-year-old party girl, that stops getting cute. And all that partying, all that late nights till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, all that type of stuff is going to catch up. It's going to catch up. And yes, we've heard this before on these other channels about how their attention starts to dwindle. It absolutely does, especially the harder they're out here partying. They might have was playing with your time, playing with your emotions, because deep down inside, they know that men are thirsty, right? They know men are thirsty. A lot of dudes are weak as hell and they're thirsty, and they'll do anything to get with the chick. So these type of chicks, 304s, whatever you want to call them, they use that to their advantage, because, hey, why not? Why not have a guy giving me validation and making me feel good? Why not string along a guy or two? Because, hey, I could do it. It's cool. It's nothing, because guess what? I have a whole bunch of other dudes that are trying to get with me. So this guy, this nice guy, or this guy that she considers lame, because a lot of these chicks consider dudes lame. They don't mind playing around. They don't mind playing him. And this same chick doing all this, she don't realize that when she gets older, a lot of the stuff that she's doing, now the tables are going to kind of turn. Now she's going to be like, dang, I'm not really getting that much attention. And yeah, is she going to be getting ran through every now and then? Yeah, of course. That's not going to stop. But ultimately, that's about as far as it goes. There's nothing goes past that. And you see them hopping online saying these dudes ain't nothing and these dudes ain't shit, and all of this type of stuff. All of this kind of slander towards dudes, calling them all type of names and stuff like that. And, oh, these dudes don't want to settle down and commit. Well, that's kind of funny, because when the chick was younger, she didn't want to settle down. She was like, oh no, I'm out here. You can't tell me what to do. A lot of them have this whole you can't tell me what to do type of mentality. And no one can tell them what to do. They're absolutely right. They could do whatever they want, especially when they look good, when they're at their peak. When they're at their peak and they're out here and they really strutting their stuff, can't nobody tell them nothing. But like I said, that stuff has an expiration date. It's not going to last forever. Everything got an expiration date. And whether y'all want to believe it or not, this happens a little faster for females, right? It happens a little faster because men, we don't really start getting first of all, our body, right? I'm 35. I would say this is probably the best shape I've ever been in, right? I'm going to say this is the best shape I have ever been in. Of course, I eat relatively healthy. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Okay. But a lot of you guys will find that your body doesn't even start to mature like that until you reach a certain age in your late 20s. Your mental starts building after a certain age, because for men, let's face it, we go through a lot of hardships when we're younger. We get rejected way more when we're younger. We get, and this is on no victim type of mess, right? This ain't on no victim type of mess, because like I said in the beginning, this is what you're going to use to make yourself better. We get rejected. We're the ones that get the shit end of the stick, right? We like dudes who want to go to prom and stuff like that. They really have to lock in a chick. Now, a chick, she has the pick of, she can get whoever the hell she wants for real to a certain extent. And I'm just using that as an example to illustrate in youth how things are. Now, stuff kind of starts turning the other direction if, fellas, if you start leveling up and you start improving yourself, if you take care of yourself and not fall into this addiction rabbit hole, fall into the depression rabbit hole, all of this stuff, you can be the best self in your mid to late 20s is when you really start catching your stride. If you don't fall into the whole abusing narcotics and drugs and mentally abusing yourself and abusing yourself mentally and physically, if you don't fall into that, that's when you start seeing yourself catching strides. And then now all of a sudden you hitting the streets, or you hitting a lounge, or you hitting whatever, you know, for my single guys, you're a little older, a little more mature, a little more solid physically. Now you start seeing all of these choosing signals and all these chicks looking and giving you long looks and, you know, better results. Because usually that's the way it is. Usually that's how the tables turn after some time. That's usually how the tables turn after some time. Because for men, unfortunately, whether you guys want to believe this or not, it takes a couple of times for us to hit our heads, because that's a lesson learned. Because imagine this, just like I said, for a lot of these chicks that are doing men wrong out here, they're not gonna, in their younger years, they're not gonna face too many consequences. They're not gonna feel too much of the consequences, even when they get heartbroken. See, the difference is when they get heartbroken, now they start going beast mode on men, because that one douchebag that they willingly got with broke their heart. Now they start going beast mode with men, and they start doing them super dirty. But they really didn't learn anything, because they really didn't sit down and really reflect on what they did. They really didn't reflect on what they were doing to attract this type of guy or to attract these type of consequences, because they didn't have to. They got a guy right afterwards. All they had to do, you know, like Jay-Z said, when a good girl goes bad, she's gone forever. All they had to do after that breakup is, hey, look, their homegirl calls them up, be like, and they'll be like, man, forget that dude. Let's go to this party. Bam, she goes to a party. You guys can imagine what happens. And bam, she's right back on track. For dudes, though, you got to really, really sit down and think. You got to really sit down and be like, okay, what's my game plan? What do I have to do? I got to get my physicality up. I got to get my finances up. I can't just be out here chasing broads and I'm broke without a cent to my name. I can't be doing that because it's not benefiting me anything. Maybe I need to stop bending over backwards and start really cutting off chicks that are, you know, replying to me 2 days afterwards and making me do all of these extra steps that they didn't make other dudes do, you know, things like that. You start realizing and you start getting better, right? And this is just the way it goes a lot of times. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.